Beatrice Ogola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I want to start by thanking the Senate for standing out, for Kenyans, for being there, for Kenyans, for being there for the people who lost their lives and are lifeless in morgues, for being there for the injured that are still in hospitals, for being there for the hurting Kenyans. That includes a number of us, Mr. Speaker, sir. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to be honest with this House that from Tuesday, I've attempted twice or thrice to drive to Parliament and drive away, specifically because I came and I wondered if I was going to come to Parliament with the blood of young Kenyans who had lost their lives right in Parliament. And on that note, Honorable Speaker, as I'm here, I'm thinking that these young men that specifically died in Parliament should be buried like MPs when finally they are buried. And probably their bodies should even be kept at the Lee funeral where parliamentarians, when they die, I've seen often their bodies at the Lee funeral, Honorable Speaker. I want to pass my condolence to the Kenyans who have lost their family members and wish the rest that are injured a quick recovery. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I also want to thank the Gen Zs for their courage. Honorable Speaker, these young people shouted to whoever would listen. They cried to us, they shouted, they sang to us, but we did not listen to their cries. We assumed, Honorable Speaker, that this is a generation that we would physically meet somewhere. We assumed that they were the traditional opposition-like demonstrators that you could find meeting or meet somewhere to plan for their activities. Honorable Speaker, this is a generation that needs a change of tact, just as the many speakers have demonstrated here. I want from the onset thank a few of the professionals that were involved rightfully in this demonstration by some of the help they give. I want to thank the medics who stood out and walked the journey with the demonstrators. Probably if they were not there, they would be having so many casualties. I want to thank members of the LSK. I want to thank the journalists for standing up for Kenyans and for keeping to the professions. Honorable Speaker, killing the young people is killing the future of Kenya. Killing the young people was killing the dreams of families and the dreams of communities, and so the dreams of mankind. Honorable Speaker, it has been indicated that CCTVs were able to speak criminals out. I'm here wondering why these CCTVs have not been able to speak out child killers, have not been able to pick out innocent blood spillers, have not been able to pick dream killers, because the young people that were killed, we needed to see their killers in handscarf by today. But Honorable Speaker, as I speak, there are no resignations that have been received, no arrests have been made. Honorable Speaker, not even firing. Honorable Speaker, in Homa Bay County, one boy was shot the first Tuesday, the first demonstration. And incidentally, this was the son of a corporal also in the police service. What does this indicate? It indicates that as you are shooting somebody's child, the child could also be the son of an officer with guns in their hands. What if that officer also decided to shoot carelessly? Honorable Speaker, earlier, a proposal had been made about having to set meetings or committees to iron out a few of these issues that are the predicament of the Gen Zs. But Honorable Speaker, I wonder whether KRA needs any meeting or committee resolutions to know that when they are hiring, they have to take into consideration the face of this country. Honorable Speaker, you've seen sectors, as been indicated by a few of us, where one community dominates the workforce. Do we need a committee? Do we need a resolution or even parliament for the people doing the hiring to initiate a hiring that shows the face of this country? Honorable Speaker, the mention of austerity measures has been here.
Senator Beatrice, just a moment, if you could resume your seat. Honorable Senators, considering the time, and we're supposed to adjourn at 1 o'clock, I would propose that we extend for another 10 minutes so that Senator Beatrice can conclude her submissions as per Standing Order 34-2A. And also, Honorable Senators, there is a lot of interest on this debate, and there's been a request from some members that when we resume in the afternoon, we do follow the list as per the schedule right now. So for those members who are on the list, as you step out, please take a look at the schedule so that you know if you're going to be one of the first speakers when we resume at 2:30. It is also my understanding that this debate shall be continued in the afternoon today and tomorrow until most members have spoken on it. Senator Beatrice, you can conclude.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for that indulgence. And for me, that is the Senate I knew as I was coming to this house, that it is a house of wisdom, it is a house of responsiveness, and it is a house of consideration. Honorable Speaker, the issue of austerity measures has come here. But Honorable Speaker, even if the different departments of the different arms of government went into the austerity measures initiatives we are talking about, and we do not as a country address the issue of wastage, Honorable Speaker, we'll still be coming back to where we are. So this country, we must address the issue of wastage. Honorable Speaker, as leaders, we must be remorseful. We must not be defensive. We must not be defiant. I saw just the other day when the head of state was at an interview, and all Kenyans just saw leadership that was not remorseful to what had happened on Tuesday. All of us saw leadership that was defiant, leadership that was defensive. Honorable Speaker, we call on all of us to feel with Kenyans, to be responsive to the predicament of the Gen Z. Honorable Speaker, a number of us, when we were coming out of college, in our many professions, we came out of college and there was already even employment letters. I'm a teacher, and having completed my course, I was already registered as a teacher. I was already having an employment letter, and I was going to report to a school. But that is not the situations that the young people find themselves in today. When you listen to the young people that were addressing the nation as they were demonstrating, those were top-notch brains of this country, Honorable Speaker. Some of them have been out of college for 6, 5 to 10 years with no jobs. So as we make decisions for them, let us listen to them, Honorable Speaker. And as I said, Honorable Speaker, let us, as we talk, the Gen Zs are listening, and as they are listening and sharing widely. We assume that we know what they want. Let us not assume that we know what they want. Let us listen to them. Let us kindly, as leaders, be sensitive to the predicament of the young people we have. Honorable Speaker, that is why, after Tuesday, in a county in this republic, I saw men that had been mobilized wielding rungus that they were inspecting the ground. Probably they were looking for the Gen Zs who are going to demonstrate. I sympathized with the person who had mobilized these people because, Honorable Speaker, why would they come to look for the Gen Zs on the streets? The Gen Zs are in our houses. Each one of them should have just picked a rungu and go to their family and beat their own children, because that is where the Gen Zs are. I want to tell you, Honorable Speaker, as I sit here in the last demonstrations, I just woke up and found my 2 children had joined the demonstrations. And when we looked for them, they said they must be on the right side of history. So for somebody who thinks they have powers and they want to mobilize rungu-wielding people to go and beat the young children, they could as well just beat their own children in the house. Honorable Speaker, let's not leave this to the public. The Constitution establishes institutions with structures that have order, that have reasonable officers, that can attend to the predicament of the youth. Because, Honorable Speaker, if we do not do that as institutions, then we leave it to the public. But what happens to the public, Honorable Speaker, when they take charge? They have no order, and probably they may not be reasonable. And as Kenyans, that is not what we want. Honorable Speaker, I come back to the mandate of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, when we talk about this finance bill, some of us ask ourselves, where did the finance bill come from? Because basically, I remember, Honorable Speaker, the PS Treasury himself was unable to explain aspects of the finance bill on a national TV, and this is the PS of Treasury. I saw with my own eyes an officer from KRA that was not able to explain matters of the finance bill on a national TV. So, Honorable Speaker, where did this document come from? Are we saying Parliament is not able to be in control of the budget? Parliament should be. And I'm happy that the Gen Zs are more courageous, because right now when you walk around, you are told of parliamentarians being in hiding. Why are you hiding if you did the right thing, Honorable Speaker? Let Parliament stick to its mandate. Parliament is a house of representation. We probably disappointed the public. And Honorable Speaker, after the Tuesday demonstration, we've seen members of the public going to attack properties and even homes of some members of Parliament that they perceived or they know voted yes. And Honorable Speaker, as leaders, let us watch the people who went to attack. They were not only the Gen Zs. It also points to us that the Gen Zs only had the courage to come, but it also points to us that the general public is not happy with what is going on. So, Honorable Speaker, it is also time to call on counties that as the Gen Zs come to the national outfits, the counties should read the times, and the governors and the county leadership must toe the line and do things as Kenyans expect, because now they are closer to members of the public, and the public will catch up with them. Honorable Speaker, let us reassure the young people. Honorable Speaker, let us give hope to our people. Honorable Speaker, I can say that we all have the capacity to learn and to relearn. And Honorable Speaker, even the head of state has all mandated institutions to support in making the right decision. Because I stand here and wonder, how did we get to Tuesday? Is it possibly that we did not listen to the right institutions that were giving us the right information? Honorable Speaker, this country has an intelligence department that is so skilled, that is probably the best in Africa. Is it because somebody did not listen to caution from the intelligence? Because if that happened, Honorable Speaker, then probably the right things should have been done at the right time so that we averted this kind of situation. Honorable Speaker, yesterday I was talking to a friend, and the friend told me, Senator, do you know Kenya is on the tip of collapse? And if we allow it to collapse, we will never come back to this. Is that what we want as leaders? Is that what somebody wants us to get into? Honorable Speaker, we would want the head of state to be more responsive. We want the head of state to be accommodative. We want the head of state to listen to Kenyans. We want the head of state to give room to institutions that have mandates to perform their mandates so that we don't end up with the situation that we got into, Honorable Speaker. We have had so many problems. We have had issues of the junior secondary school issues where Kenyan children are sitting in classrooms without teachers. We've seen that the medics have all the past few weeks have been having a challenge with the government because the doctors have been speaking to the to the government, and nobody was listening to them. We are happy when this came on Tuesday, the doctors came out to stand in with the demonstrators. The medics were there to support the demonstrators. And Honorable Speaker, I cry for the loss of life that was the loss of life we have had in the country. Honorable Speaker, when the president made a speech, he said no more life would be lost. On Thursday, I was surprised more lives were lost. Is it an indication that somebody is not listening to him, or is it an indication that he's not listening to advice? Honorable Speaker, we must not continue to lose lives. By losing the lives of young people, we are losing the future of Kenya. We are destroying the dreams of Kenyans. We are destroying the dreams of families, the dreams of mankind. And Honorable Speaker, that is not what we expect of ourselves. Let Parliament do its work. Let us preserve the young people. Let us listen to them, and let us be responsive to them. But above all, Honorable Speaker, let us encourage leadership that is remorseful. I cry for all those lives. And the children who died in Parliament, I propose that they must be buried as MPs because they died within Parliament. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Honorable Senators, it is now 11 minutes past 1, and having concluded the business for which I extended the hours of sitting, pursuant to Standing Order 34-2A, the Senate stands adjourned until today, 3rd July 2024 at 2:30 p.m.